All right, one of the last things that you'll probably end up doing would be your links for your menu. So I'm going to go ahead and run through that as well. Um, I'm going to go ahead and make a new box, like a new div just for this. So I'm going to call it, start with the hashtag and go with nav is fine, or menu, whichever is okay. And I'm not going to do a lot for this one. To be honest, I'll probably make it look a lot like these other ones where for now I'll have a background color and a size. And I do want this one to be, of course, a little different than the other ones. And so let's see, what color can we do? Well, it's not that important. We'll switch it later anyway. So there it'll have a different color. I just want to make sure I differentiate it from the rest of it. And then I need to actually place it in my actual source code, right? So over to my source code, and I would like it above the text. So I'm going to put my blinker in here. So I'm not in container, I'm not in logo, I'm past tagline, but I'm before I put all those images. So I'm just going to go ahead and click here and then go to the insert menu, insert div, and then it'll let me choose that ID that's made that no one else has used yet. And so now we have that box. Now, I'm going to change the content here, right? Because that's important. I'm just going to make a fake menu. Okay, so let's talk about. Let's see what else. We might want to have paintings, contact, some basic stuff. You're going to need 4. And just making these up on the fly, but that's okay. So write them all out and then they'll appear up here, right? Now, there's some issues I'm already sensing that it's too close to everything, right? So I'm going to go back to the CSS. Some things I want to think about, and yours will be different, but this is just a real basic one to start from, is the, it's kind of cramped. So I am going to add some more, let's see, I want to add some padding, I think. That makes sense. So again, make sure that curly brace is out. Padding, I'm just going to go with general padding because I probably need it all over the place. And we'll go with, oh gosh. This gets tricky. It does get tricky. I probably do need to do this as actual padding left, padding right sort of a thing. Because remember that I'm working in percentages, and so I'm going to need to take away some space. So if I do, let's say, at least 2%, and then padding right, probably should be the same thing. For the padding top and bottom, I can do the pixels. So, I'll kind of see how it feels when I'm done. Okay, so that's something. And then let's take a look at the box now. That's better, right? Now, another thing that I probably would want to see is that my text is centered. So for this one, it's text-based, so you can, type in text, and then you see that a line comes in. I want it centered. Good, now my text is centered. And then I can go through and make each of these links. So I'm just going to go ahead and make one of them a link so you can see, just as a quick reminder, how that happens. And if I don't have the page ready yet, I simply type in what I know I will name it later. And now that's a link, and that's terrible because you can't really read that, but that's okay for now. Now, the one issue I have is that spacing is quite tight, right? It needs space around it. And I could try to do like a dash or something to separate them out, but the unfortunate thing in this program is that you can't do more than one space when you're dealing with text. It won't let you do it. So you have to come up with some other solution. And so I'm going to actually add a new class, and I'm just going to call it strictly padding menu because why not? That's what it's going to do. And I'm going to be really specific here. I only need padding to go on the right side of this because I just want separation between these. So I'm going to do padding right. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. Padding right. And, oh gosh, I'll try 15 pixels, see if that's enough. Semicolon. And then this is a class, right? So you're going to have to select that item, go to properties, choose your class, and that's just padding menu. And now it gives it a gap. And so you would do that on all of them. They would all have to have a separate padding menu to separate, well, actually not all of them, just the first three. Either that or you could do padding right and start with this one and just not have it on about. That's fine too. But that will help it look better. Voila. So that would be fine. And then all you have to do is just, again, select the text, go to insert, hyperlink, and then click what you want. So the only tricky thing about making sure, you just got to make sure that in the end, you are going to make sure that you, so again, if I say, hey, insert hyperlink, and I go over here and I type in paintings.html, I better darn well make a file that's called paintings.html when I am done with my template, right? Oops, I got rid of that space. So it looks like you might need to reestablish that padding. It looks like it disappeared. Huh. Okay, so that's something to look out for. Apparently it does not like it when I added a class and then I made it a link and then I tried to add the class back and it got cranky. So let's take a look as to why that's the case. And usually if it works for one of them, then it's time to kind of make your stuff line up and see if we can't make the other ones work too. So it looks like making that match. And it is a link because we can see the ahref. Problem is it did not like it when I tried to add that class to it. So instead, I'm going to try to do that here. Yeah, it's a little space. It's not awesome. All right, let's go through. I'm just going to go through and insert hyperlinks to all of them. Okay, so about worked. Paintings did not. So again, I'm going to go to my properties to see if I can make it do it. So I'm at none now, and I'm going to click to padding menu. All right. Okay. Looks about right. It still isn't reading the same exact thing. So here's my troubleshooting system, all the time. This is just kind of how it works. I'm going to try to match the way that this happened with about for all of them. So add a class right after the word. So there we go. That kind of did it. I accidentally added a little item up there. Okay, so now it works fine. It's a little bit of a hassle, but when you're trying to do a couple different things to one thing, like we were making it a link and adding a class, it gets cranky. So if it does do that on you, just try to line your stuff up in a way that lets you see. Looks like I even got an extra piece out of here. Whoops. There we go. Yep, okay, great. So now they're all there as they should be. They're all listed. That makes sense and it works. Okay, so that's it. Sorry that took a while, but inevitably you will possibly have that issue as well.